over there? Is it a plane?
In other news, there have been reports of large flocks of birds flying all over the city.
That's what I keep trying to tell everyone. It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's
hats and chats. It just has to be.
No, I'm Dirty Dan.
No, I'm Dirty Dan.
Well, I'm Dirty Dan.
No, I'm Dirty Dan.
Which one of you is the real Dirty Dan?
Me.
Oh.
Well then.
Welcome.
Hey, guys.
Welcome. Hey. It's Hats and Chats.
Yo-ho, family.
Yoo-hoo. We are joined by the mysterious, the dark and daring Cory Swancock.
What am I, Batman?
Yeah.
You're Batman.
You're Batman.
I'm okay with this.
Your parents are dead?
Oh.
Oh.
Unless
no.
he's Batman Beyond.
You think about the consequences.
I didn't
of
think
what
this
you
through.
wanna
Why did I
be.
become Batman?
I was gonna say maybe he's Terry McGinnis, but I was like, oh yeah, his dad's dead.
Yeah. It's not good any way you go. Yeah. Batman.
There's
Poor
Dick
Batman.
Grayson, but I'm like, oh yeah, he's an orphan too.
Yeah.
Is there...
Nope, it's the Batman syndrome. You gotta have at least one parent die. Sad.
So,
Okay, so that was a depressing start to a...
It was dark.
The rest of this podcast, I assure you, is going to be uplifting and amazing.
if that's not the case, at least weird.
Yeah, at least weird. It'll get a little strange at times. If
Weird.
you haven't joined us before, I assure you, it's going to get weird at some point.
Weird we can guarantee.
Weird, yes. It's basically our mantra. Also, since you have not heard his loud and overbearing voice yet, you've probably figured out that Mr. Cole is not here this week. He is away on important business in Taiwan.
Being made there. He's gonna be refurbished and be. We'll see on.
Oh, I thought
neck.
I was
Made
told
in
he was going all the way to Japan to get us authentic ramen noodles.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and then there's also the other story that he was going to Antarctica to just look at
Become a
penguins.
penguin.
Yeah, he
No,
just
become a penguin.
No, he just wanted to look at them. That's it.
He told me he wanted to be one.
No.
I don't look.
I'm pretty sure
He
the
trusts
story...
me with this information more.
No, he wants to go to Antarctica
Oh, okay.
to look at penguins and hope he'll hear the voice of Morgan Freeman.
And here we see the majestic penguins.
And Cole.
Do you know there was a mockbuster of March of the Penguins called Farce of the Penguins?
Farce?
It's a parody, and it's narrated by Samuel L. Jackson.
That's amazing.
But this is the thing, this is supposed to be an adult parody.
Oh.
So this is the unfiltered Samuel Jackson.
Oh.
Going back to the good old Pulp Fiction days.
Yep.
Lord have
I don't think I've
mercy.
said my name yet. Hi, I'm Cory.
Oh yeah, that's a Cory. Wait, I think I mentioned... I said Cory.
Oh.
But...
Yeah.
I think we stopped when I mentioned I was Batman.
Yeah. Explain who you are, Cory.
He's a guy.
A guy.
With hair.
I'm a guy with a lot of hair.
In glasses. And a butt.
A booty.
He's got
Yeah.
one of those.
I got a butt.
Yeah.
I only have one. Some people say I have two. They lie.
Yes.
They liars.
Oh my gosh, the amount of awkward, like we're all three just like awkward human beings, and I feel like Cole too is just like he always fills in the gaps.
He's the melted cheese that keeps us together.
Yes, it's like
I'm gonna tell Cole you called him melted cheese now.
You remember
You'll
the
probably
first
embrace it.
live action Scooby-Doo movie where Shaggy was like, Fred, you're the big banana. And he said Velma was like the strawberry sauce and Daphne was like the whipped cream or something, and then him and Scooby were like the cherries on top or something like that. And then they were all like, Fred said it first, I think. He's like, you really put it into perspective for me. I quit.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
It was Velma. It was Velma. She was like, you really put it into perspective for me. I quit.
How sassy Velma was in the movies.
It was great.
Fun
Oh,
fact,
really?
the actress who plays Velma is Hawkeye's wife in Age of Ultron. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's the same girl?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way. Look
Old.
it up. Look it up.
Old. Old.
No,
But
that-
no, like,
you do
that
know-
explains so much, though, because I looked at her face, and I remember just, like, looking at it so hard and going,
Who's that?
I know you.
Turns out Velma left Mystery Inc. and decided to date an Avenger.
Oh my gosh. She had a very, like, just cute mom.
Yeah.
You know, very homey. Like, I would definitely say they did a good job, like,
Good
picking
casting.
that. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it was
And then
very
you
good.
have the actors. So I just want to point out that in live action Scooby Doo movies, like, there's always like this weird sexual tension between Daphne and Fred. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like I understand it comedic purposes, but like sometimes they like put it on a little too heavy, and you realize this was supposed to be a kids movie.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's funny?
Not to mention, sorry, real quick, Chris.
No problem.
In the first Scooby Doo movie, this specific scene comes to mind, right? So you know how they get like ripped out of everyone's, everyone gets ripped out of their bodies, and like Fred somehow ends up in Daphne's body,
And he's like,
They-
I'm a lady.
and then you don't see this if you see it aired on TV, but if you have like a physical copy of the movie, this scene plays where he looks down Daphne's shirt and then looks up and smiles.
Oh my
They don't show that in TV. I
Yeah.
noticed
no, I've
that.
seen
What's
that.
funny is-
I think
There's a deleted
they have it on
scene.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the Scooby Doo movies.
I know there's a deleted scene where Velma was possessed by one of the weird demon bunny things.
Oh yeah.
And she was like flaunting in a bathing suit, like, you know, acting like a dumb college student.
Oh, yeah.
my
There's a
gosh.
deleted
Yeah, that was a
scene.
thing.
That's amazing.
Oh no, yeah, because
Uh,
I think this dude like walked up to her, tried to flirt with her, and then she like pile drived him or something, and then just continued
That's
walking.
amazing.
Well, anyways, let's move on and talk about the comics this week. It's a little
But I'm gonna say one more thing before we move on from live action Scooby Doo.
yeah.
Velma in orange spandex suit. Moving on.
All right.
Moving on. That's it.
All right. So not much comics coming out this week. Post New Year's Eve, a lot of comic companies like to, you know, tone down their stuff. But let's go to DC because we got some stuff to talk about.
Yep.
In terms of single issues, they released a rebirth issue for the Atom.
Yeah, Adam. Okay. Is it which one is like what number?
It's number 1.
Oh, so it's
It's
okay.
brand new.
Oh,
and-
for the Atom, that's
They're doing one shots of various DC characters. Next week we're going to have Vixen. They're giving one shots to characters who don't get a lot of limelight, who are part of the league.
okay. So, do you know who else? Okay, so we got Vixen, Atom.
I don't know anyone else at the moment.
Because those are both great.
I want Dr. Fate to get one.
Dr. Fate. I'm not gonna lie, like since I've been rewatching like Young Justice and everything, I'm just like Icon, Dr. Fate, you know, they're just
I want Booster Gold. to
Oh,
have
gosh.
one.
Booster Gold, yeah.
Oh, have you
Yeah.
guys seen Justice League Action? The
No.
new DC show. There's a scene where Booster Gold, he's in charge of the gym in the Justice League Hall of Justice,
Mhm.
and he always challenges Batman to a match, and he noticed something funny because Batman was possessed by a demon. He actually got a hit on Batman, and he's like, "Wait a second!" He records, and every time he sees like,
You're not Batman.
because he looks at records like every time he tries to challenge Batman, he gets one shot all the time. It's like, wait a minute, you're not Batman. I landed a hit on you.
That's awesome.
So, but one thing we should talk about for DC, the rebirth trades are coming in. The first wave of
Yeah,
rebirth trades.
we actually picked one up today. We got the Superman, Son of Superman, the first trade for that, and then they had completely sold out at the Coliseum we went to for the Green Arrow trade, which has been more popular than the Superman one for Rebirth. So
At least that's what we've been told.
yeah.
And this month I believe we're getting Batman, Suicide Squad, Justice League, and Nightwing.
Yeah, I think there was one other. It's on there's the bookmark right there. DC has like these bookmarks. They might have it at your local comic book store. And it
And
tells
Green
you
Lanterns.
like Green Lantern.
Green Lanterns.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Flash. And Aquaman.
And Flash and Aquaman, man.
So
Okay.
everyone except Wonder Woman because they're saving her for March.
It's so sad.
Man, I'm excited for Flash, Batman, Flash, Batman, Superman, and Green Arrow. Because I remember those were like the 4 comics that I first picked up when Rebirth was just getting started. I haven't picked up any since, just because I hate waiting. Honestly,
Yeah, no.
I hate waiting for the single issues to come out. So I'll just like wait for the trade to come out and just read it all at once.
For me, it's just money. Just like paying for every single trade. Unless I know that I'm going to keep it in mint condition, I don't see any reason to buy trades, issues week to week.
With me, it just depends on the series I like to follow. Like, I want to know what happens next, so I read Spider-Man single issues a lot. But when it comes to other characters, I prefer trade because there's like less risk when going to new characters. Like, you want to read a new character, but if you can follow single issues, there's a risk and reward system. But there's more reward if you get in trade.
But yeah, no, those were the 4 I picked up, and I enjoyed the first issues of them, so I'm interested to see what kind of stories they'll tell.
I'm excited for Nightwing.
Yeah.
Just because he's my baby.
Nightwing is bae.
I love Dick!
Alright, next we're going to go to IDW with issue Dose of the...
What's that mean?
2.
Oh.
I don't speak Arabic.
What?
Arabic?
Arabic? No, this is a Klingon household.
This is a Klingon household, thank you. Excuse me, it's actually Romulan.
Romulan. Alright,
Nerds.
issue 2 of the Solo Optimus Prime series.
Oh, okay.
Cory,
How did the first, what was the reception for the first one?
pretty solid.
Okay.
Cory, you're more into Transformers than most of us, to an extent.
Kinda. I mean, I was really excited when, the movies were being made.
Then you watched them.
Well, the first one, if I'm being totally honest, I didn't hate it. I actually really enjoyed it. The second one was okay. And then, just from that point on, just things got
Dumb.
bad. And I feel like, I don't know. I haven't seen Age of Extinction yet. I might go see the new one coming out soon, which is the last night.
It's going to focus more on their planet, right?
That's what we thought. Then the trailer came out, and then
It seems like it's going to be focused mostly on a corrupt Optimus Prime.
because Unicron is going to be in the movie. We're finally going to see. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unicron, and apparently he's going to be a herald of Unicron instead of Galvatron in the original cartoon.
Okay. Yeah, alright. Here, have a giant evil Transformer planet.
No, dead seriously. In Transformers, their version of Galactus is a Transformer who turns into a planet.
No, straight up. It's Unicron. He is a extremely huge Decepticon, and he literally devours other planets. So, for those of you if you know anything about Transformers at all, you are also aware that Cybertron is another one of these giant machines, but it's an Autobot, so he's a good guy.
It's usually 9 out of 10. He's usually asleep.
Yeah, most of the time though, he's not doing much. Yeah. I think in the entire time, at least in the show that I can remember, he only woke up once, and that was specifically to fight Unicron because he was I think he was about to eat Earth, and then they found some way they had to pump energon into his heart or whatever, or his spark or whatever.
Yeah.
He woke up, transformed, and then beat the crap out of Unicron.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
He's like the big, angry, sleeping dad.
Yeah.
It's
and he has to deal with his uncle, who's causing trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we're gonna go to Image
Image.
with 162 of The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Is
the series comic book wise? Is it still fairly popular, keeping people's attention?
It's one of Image's big moneymakers.
Okay.
Next, and it's one of the big trades everyone buys. There's recurring trades that are in the top 10 that people buy all the time. Walking Dead #1, Volume 1 is always one of the best-selling trades. In the US.
The TV show was inspired by it, right?
A lot of it was...
but it has... I've heard it has... The TV show has most of its own characters, and then the game that Telltale made focuses more on the characters that were actually in the comic. Is that right?
The game had a few original characters, but it was more inspired by the comic. And the show... thing was, it does have a lot of characters from the comic. It's just the only character not from the comic is the most popular character, Daryl.
All right.
Daryl has not appeared... Well, they brought in Daryl now because he's such a popular character. But when he was made for the show, he was the most popular character and he was not in the comic. Everyone else is from the comic. It's just events are either changed or altered.
Well, because there have been crossovers from the show and the Telltale game, right?
Yes.
Because hasn't what's her name? Katana lady.
Michonne?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Michonne's also from the comic.
Oh, she's also from the comic. Okay.
Yeah. Like, basically, I'm going to say this right now, easier thing, like, 99% of the characters are from the comic, except for Daryl and his brother.
Okay. I started watching Walking Dead, the TV show. I stopped at, like, season 3, because it didn't interest me anymore. I just lost interest.
I lost interest in season 5. Because the problem with season 5 was, it was, like, very disjointed, like...
Yeah, I mean, I've heard from a lot of people that after season 3, it really slows down, and it doesn't pick up again until a couple season, like, later.
Like the newest season with Negan.
I think it picks up, like, maybe a season or two behind that, but, like, I've been told there's, like, a really long gap where it's, like, super slow, and it's, like, mostly character stuff.
Yeah, as well as, Glenn fake dying until Negan arrived.
Yeah, that happened.
Everyone knows what happened.
And I mean...
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, same thing happens with Game of Thrones, you know? Even if you don't really watch the show, you're gonna somehow somewhat know what happened, just because people can't hold crap in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
like,
I mean...
Don't even blame us for spoilers. Like, this was, like, all over Facebook. All over Twitter, all over, like, any other social media.
This was all over that little kid who came out of the theater.
Yeah.
I don't even watch the show, and I went over to, like, my aunt's house, and I think my cousin was watching it or something, and I actually saw that final scene of the season where, like, he's about to hit somebody, but you don't know who it is.
Yeah, and then the season premiere of this current season showed who died, and it was, first it was Abraham, a.k.a. the character no one cared about, that no one felt sad about. But then it was Glenn, because Glenn died the same way in the comic.
What I find hilarious about that, though, is there were so many people, if you look online, who were like... There were, like, two types of people, right? There were people who read the comic and basically knew it was going to happen, and they're like, oh, we know Glenn's going to die. And then you have people who are like...
Deniers.
Well, okay, I should say 3 people, actually. People who are deniers... who are like, no, it can't be Glenn, it can't be this. And then you have people who, like, they thought it was going to be Glenn, but they weren't sure. But to try to make themselves feel better, they would go to extreme lengths, to the point where I saw this one post that, like, broke down the height of each of the characters and, like, structured, like, the height of the camera, like, where it was at relative to, like, being hit by the bat. And I'm like, are you being serious right now?
And I thought anime fans get really extreme when it comes to their
They tried to break it down.
Like,
nah, you don't mess with Game of Thrones or Walking Dead fans. Seriously.
Oh, God.
Those people are extreme. Like,
yeah.
Huh.
Alright, next we're going to go to Marvel with US Avengers.
Okay, so what's going on there?
It's a new series. Let me see if I can get the lineup of characters. I know Squirrel Girl is on the team.
Okay.
It's a sequel to Next Avengers, or New Avengers. It's a sequel to New Avengers, and it has some of the same characters as well. Like, I believe Sunspot is financing them. I know Red Hulk is in there, and he has a design very similar to Sergeant Slaughter, the wrestler. He has a black sunglasses you see like a desert ranger cop will have, and he has this thick burly mustache, and he totally looks like Sergeant Slaughter. Or if you guys seen Final Wars, Godzilla Final Wars, the guy with a katana who was like had a hate on for Godzilla, he looks like that guy.
I don't think I've seen it.
I haven't either.
But one thing with US Avengers, they have a gimmick with that issue. It is annoying simply because they have 50 variant covers which is a state for each state.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's a lot of different variant covers.
For those
No.
people who like to collect, that would be
Hey.
awful.
Hey. That's not even the worst of it. I believe the first issue of Marvel Star Wars, I believe, have almost 200 variant covers.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap.
And
Why?
Because
it's
Star Wars.
Because Star Wars.
Dude, like,
you can't even. It's not
because
like,
they know they'll make money off. They know they'll make tons of money off of it. Because like
But 200 though?
there are people out there who would buy all them just because Star
Not even
Wars.
that, because a lot of times there's either store exclusives variants. Sometimes those store exclusive have multiple variants. Like you got the main cover, then you got the ink and the sketches. You got like variants for launch parties. There's just like so many like there's action figure variants, and knowing Star Wars, every character has a fucking action figure.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a drinking game. Someone says like, drink every time you find a character that doesn't have a Star Wars. It's the most sober drinking game of all time.
No, that would be great. Oh man.
Extended universe characters don't count.
Oh. Well, of course. I mean, not anymore, obviously. It's just like...
Yeah.
Yeah, because they cut all that out anyway.
Another series we can talk about from Marvel, since we don't have that many comics to talk about. Issue 1 of The Unstoppable Wasp.
Oh, okay.
Which focuses on Hank's hidden love child.
Huh.
Okay, people forget this. Before Hank met Janet and they married, Hank had a girlfriend from the former Soviet Union area. I think maybe Germany when it was occupied by the Soviet Union, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
And they dated, but then the commies found out that she fled the Soviet Union, so they grabbed her and kidnapped her, and she was presumed dead.
Huh.
And that's what motivated Hank to become Ant-Man in his original origin.
Oh.
Was to fight
okay.
the communists. During the 60s, that was the Red Scare and all that stuff.
Right.
But they reinterpreted it where it was just former KGB spies during because whenever Marvel as it gets older, they extend when periods of stuff happen. So for example, Iron Man in the original comic was during the Korean War. Now they changed it to Iraq and stuff, or as origin, because you got to modernize it.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing they did with Ant-Man. He had his wife, his ex-wife got kidnapped by Soviet loyalists, and she had a daughter, and Hank never knew about her. And she was she knew about Ant-Man though, so she studied the Wasp and Pym particles, and she became the Wasp herself.
Huh. Okay.
And even though Janet, the main Wasp, isn't her mother, she's still trying to be a mother figure because Hank was such a close part to his life. By the way, Hank is technically dead.
Technically dead?
I mean, can you say someone's dead when they were devoured by Ultron and merged with them? Yeah, that happened.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know.
And Ultron,
is this still an ongoing story?
Yeah, Ultron is...
Okay, then I think we would reserve judgment on whether or not he's quote unquote dead.
Yeah,
until
he's
the story
comic book
confirms.
Dead,
Yeah,
comic book dead.
Yeah.
I mean, can you consider that as a form of death when you're basically absorbed into a psychopathic robot?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess this is getting really deep and philosophical, but it really depends on what you consider to be death.
Yeah.
Is death when you lose your free will? Or is it when literally your soul just moves on to an entirely different realm?
Chris, a perfect example is the Spider-Man storyline where Spider-Man gets fused, or Doc Ock gets fused into Spider-Man's head and then takes over.
Oh, Superior.
Yeah, Superior Spider-Man. That's a perfect... It almost sounds like the exact same thing. Obviously, except Ultron being a machine.
Yeah.
But in that comic, Peter wasn't dead. He was just still inside his head.
Yeah.
But, just kind of trapped.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I gotcha. But yeah, but the thing is, the new Wasp, she's fucking adorable.
Yeah.
She's adorable. She's so excited about American stuff, and it's just superheroes in general. She joined Avengers, I'm with the Avengers, this is awesome.
How old is she?
She's I would like to say late teens, early 20s.
I
Cool.
like it.
I like her, and her series is called The Unstoppable Wasp.
Yeah.
I like
That
them.
sounds good, actually,
Yeah.
honestly. I'd like to check that out.
I mean, Marvel got a new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie coming out in 20-something.
20-something.
Maybe 2018, 2019, somewhere around there.
We won't get it until 2048. When we're all old and probably
No! Dead?
dead.
Dead.
What,
No.
Corey? Oh my gosh. So, Corey's
I don't plan to
optimistic.
live until 50.
Oh my god.
So, that's pretty much it we can talk about. Not much else we can talk about in comics.
Okay.
Little small week.
So we can just,
Talk about our topics.
yeah.
Our topics?
Our taps.
Our hot topics.
Our tap shoes.
Tap, tap, tap.
Alright? Anyway.
Anyway.
First,
So, I don't know.
there's some things we can talk about. this
Shall we
week.
talk about something that's relevant with nerd culture now, which is Assassin's Creed?
We can talk. So, okay. Few notes on the movie. We went to see it last night, at least Corey and I did. And I'll admit I've kind of been in the craze of it because I've been playing Syndicate a lot lately. I got the Ezio collection not too long ago. So I've kind of just been going through the games. And yeah, just like really had it on my mind, and then going to see the movie, I was like, when I saw the trailer, I'll admit, I had zero hopes for this movie. I thought it was just gonna be bad.
Especially with Kanye West doing the music.
Oh my
Which
god.
is weird because if I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure no Kanye West music was played at all in the entire movie.
No. It wasn't.
It was
at all.
only for
it
the
might
trailer.
have been in the credits. We didn't stay through the whole credits.
a lot of films they put songs in trailers only.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. So, yeah, I just felt that the trailer was a terrible interpretation, or window, I should say, into what the movie was actually like. So it's not even because a lot of people were worried about it not being enough in the past and stuff like that. And I'll admit, when I was thinking about the movie beforehand, I was thinking that we were gonna have the beginning 60 minutes or so of the movie in present time, and then it would go to the past, while he's in the Animus and stuff like that. But they actually spaced it out, and I thought that was a great idea. So just, I'd say my points on it, action scenes were well choreographed and awesome.
Oh, fight choreography alone in that movie was phenomenal. I would go as far as to say as it was the most entertaining part of the movie.
I would definitely say the same. Yeah. And then the second thing, the Animus, when I originally saw it in the trailer, I was like, that looks dumb. What the heck is that? But all things considered, it is the first Animus.
We theorize.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, according to the movie, anyway, it's the first Animus. And so, kind of the way it works.
Are the movies canon with the games?
I don't know. I mean, Ubisoft did work on the movie.
I don't know. I don't know if that question has been answered.
Yeah, and honestly, with the way that it had such a general and broad look at the lore and stuff like that that's included in the games. So honestly, they could easily just say this is a part of our...
if you think about it in the timeline of the movie and then the games, right? Let's just say they are canon.
Mm-hmm.
Chris hasn't seen the movie yet, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to explain this in as a spoiler-free way as possible. For the movie, the Animus being the first Animus, that makes if you incorporate that in this timeline, it makes sense. Because it gives there's the thing that happens when you're in the Animus, and there's certain safety procedures removed, at least in the current games, that it causes it to affect your person. You fans of the series should know immediately what I'm talking about, because it's how they train Desmond in Assassin's Creed 2. That is a thing in the first game, and it happens just because you're in the Animus already. And this is an Animus that Abstergo has built, so that's why we theorize it's the first Animus that they're still testing with it, and they haven't put those locks or those preventions in place yet. It could also explain the reason why Desmond, in the first game, is the only assassin you really see in the building. I mean, obviously, later more show up, but he's the only one that you see being held there. You know, he's not held in a collective like they were in the movie. Maybe that was another precaution to prevent something like the movie happening again, so now they only bring in one person at a time instead of having a whole bunch of people.
Because they were holding a ton of people besides...
And they were putting them all in the Animus.
Yeah.
So my question is, to compare to other video game movies, how was this rated?
I mean,
That you guys seen.
I loved it. I really did. I think the only, real complaints that I might have had, if anything, was that you couldn't get crazy attached to either the main character or even Aguiar, his ancestor from the past.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you couldn't get attached to either because you were going back and forth between both, and they both had their own things kind of going on. And so honestly, for the main character at least, he had such a general character style.
Yeah.
That it was I feel like what they were going for was that this character can be anybody. That's what they were trying to tell the audience.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, I actually don't think he had Michael Fassbender's character and his ancestor. They really didn't have a whole lot in terms of dialogue in the movie. It was more they talked where they needed to talk, but it wasn't you didn't really get to understand again who this guy was, or he was just a dude. There's straight up moments where he's just sitting down randomly at a table and he's like, what the heck's going on? I don't understand anything.
So it's literally just this guy who is just being put through all this stuff, and he's just what is life? What is going on?
So
who are you?
It's not Desmond and his ancestors. Desmond is not Ezio. I remember Desmond. So it's not the change personality. I really wish that they would have. It sounded like
well, they didn't change his personality.
Yeah, because you didn't get to know them enough to really even tell if
who they
one.
Are.
Yeah. And honestly, the interesting part was that a lot of their actions really showed the type of men that they were. So.
Oh, they're actions speak louder than words kind of people?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
I would say so. And it's also what the movie focused on. So there was that. I think, honestly, the scientist for Abstergo, the lady, her name, Sophie, I believe was her name.
Yeah.
Short, black hair, she's in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I would say she was amazing, honestly. She had the most, the biggest character arc. She changed throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just really interesting, coming from the perspective of somebody, literally her goal was to end violence. She wanted to use the shroud, the apple of Eden to
It's the that's the syndicate talking.
Yeah, that's the syndicate talking. She wanted to get the apple of Eden to stop violence in humanity. That was her whole point in finding it.
Because I don't know if you know, but the apple of Eden can control minds.
Yeah,
because it's basically the idea was that Adam and Eve, according to the lore of Assassin games, they stole the apple from the Garden of Eden, and that was their first act of disobedience, and that's basically what created violence and sin in mankind. And so ever since then, what the Templars believe is that they can use the apple of Eden to basically control mankind and to keep them from ever
They believe that the apple itself holds the genetic code for free will.
Yeah.
Meaning it can give free will or it can take it away.
Okay.
Right. So they want to use it, but like the Templars, the reason why they're so like evil and everything is because they want to use it to control people. Like they want to control people to do their will. So it's not the same. It's not like doing it for the good intention of, destroying violence and creating peace among humanity. It's really just so they can rule the world.
They're selfish assholes.
Yeah. I mean, basically.
Well, yeah.
But Sophie isn't like that. And so that's kind of the interesting thing.
She's still a Templar.
Yeah.
But she has... It's very interesting because you can clearly tell in the movie she has other priorities that she puts forth first before being a Templar.
I mean, honestly, it's one of my favorite things about villain groups. For example, Star Wars, for example, for a long time, the Empire's bad, or the Separatists were bad in, for example, Clone Wars, for example. Remember there was an episode where we see the Separatists, their side, and they're not bad people?
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, even if you know a whole lot about, honestly, about the Jedi Order alone, they're not good people.
Yeah.
If you actually read into it, this is only a very small part of, some of the things that they do. All those children they get who are, force sensitive, they don't just be like, oh, you're an orphan who's force sensitive. No, they tear those children away from their families. They're forced to go to the Jedi Temple. They're forced to, be raised in a society that tells them you cannot feel emotion, you cannot have emotion, or else you'll fall to the dark side, you'll become evil.
And literally, if you play Star Wars The Old Republic, I remember there's a mission not too far into the game where you find, a couple, and they're both, training to be Jedis, and you can either turn them in or not. And to earn points toward being a Jedi, you have to turn them in. So it's kind of crappy, they don't allow basically any emotion, any love or anything, and it's honestly what destroyed Anakin.
Or the original Jedi Order until
exactly that's the whole reason it went down, is because they tried to contain all of that, and that's such a part of human and apparently alien nature. So it's
and then you also learn that then the title of Sith is used very generously among the Jedi Order. Literally, you can be a Force user who is trained to use a lightsaber and the Force powers and everything, not be a part of the Sith Empire, but still be labeled a Sith because you are not part of the Jedi Order. It's literally just a propaganda name.
Just a rogue Force user, and you're a Sith.
You're a rogue
All right. Sith. And we've talked about this before, actually. We wanted to do maybe a Star Wars, tabletop game, and all of us were call us Sith, call us whatever, but we are not joining the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Maybe after they were reformed, maybe, but they were only slightly better even then.
And if that doesn't make sense, the Star Wars game, Old Republic, the one that was just mentioned, if you play as a Sith, you have an option, as you're playing as a Sith, to be either really evil or actually kind of nice. I remember there being a scene, again, very early in the game, where you're told you need to go kill this man who's in prison. He's a traitor, blah, blah, blah. You can completely set him free. Not only can you also set him free, there's forced mind tricks on him that was going to make it so that if he got away, he would give false information to the Jedi Order. Well, you can change that and give him his actual memory back, and he's he stands there confused because he's I thought all Sith were mean. I thought all Sith were relentless, and here you are not only setting me free, but also giving me my actual memories back.
Right.
And that just alone is oh, okay, so Sith can be good people.
All right, let's move on to some nerdy news.
So basically, with Assassin's Creed, though, it's a good movie. It's worth watching. If you're a fan of the games, highly recommend. I adored it. Just don't expect anything I don't know.
Oscar worthy.
Yeah, knock your socks off, holy crap. But, if you're a fan of the games, then, I don't know. Like, you might find the animus a little bit weird, but like, other than that, it definitely captures like the spirit.
And again, I feel like if you roll with our theory of it being the first animus, it kind of makes it a bit more easy to get into it.
And to get into it, yeah. Agreed.
All right, now we're gonna go a little bit of nerd news. Not a whole lot to talk about, but let's go to Universal Studios Japan is opening a 4D Godzilla ride based on the newest Shin Godzilla.
Shin.
Godzilla's Shin.
I mean,
it's just a picture of a giant lizard.
Okay, the English title is Godzilla Resurgence, but Toho, when it released it...
No, I just want a movie called Godzilla's Shin, and it's just an hour and 40 minutes of you looking at Godzilla's foot as he walks around.
I mean, there's the fan film Godzilla vs. Bambi.
What?
It's a 30-second fan animation where it's just like someone drew a deer eating, and just all of a sudden Godzilla's foot just crushes.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Oh my god!
Oh.
It was like someone's project for a animation studio.
Somebody's a sick bastard.
Somebody's very sick bastard.
Anyway,
is it like hyper realistic, kind of cartoony?
It's cartoony.
All right.
No gore. So anyway,
Great.
this is it's based on the new Godzilla movie that came out last year. So we're going to see, if you guys go to Japan, you'll be seeing this lovely fellow in 4D.
Walking beef jerky.
Walking pissed off beef jerky.
Beef jerky face.
Oh man.
I've seen Shin Godzilla. It's probably the most political Godzilla movie I've ever seen. No joke. Half the film is just the Japanese government going through committees just so they have the permission to shoot down the monster. No, and here's the thing though. That's kind of how Japanese government works.
Hey, there's a problem. Can we deal with the problem?
Well, we need to have a meeting.
Yes or no?
It's like, well, let's have a meeting at 2:00. Coffee will be served.
I'm sorry, but when your problem is,
there will be donuts.
taller than skyscrapers and breathes molten atom breath, I don't think you should have to go through this the process.
Not in America. Let me tell you.
No, America
right
would
now.
immediately be like, nuke it.
Shoot it now.
No, the thing is, because the film is an allegory for the Japanese earthquakes that happened a few years ago, and Japan had a very similar response when all they could have done is just send help immediately. It's just how the government works. They literally called off war. They don't participate in war. That's our job for them.
Oh.
It's just, Japan doesn't have an army. They have a self-defense force.
Oh, alright.
Well, honestly, like, I think in wartime situations, that's a good policy.
But when there's a giant monster destroying the city...
No, like...
Or when there's earthquakes. I mean, honestly, go help your people. Like, what... That's frustrating, man. If I was Japanese, I'd be really ticked, honestly.
Oh, yeah. But Shin Godzilla is still pretty good. I will say, Godzilla has multiple forms. His first two forms are only scary when you don't look at him in the side, because he has these really big fish eyes. He looks like, okay, it is realistic. This is what an aquatic animal will look like. The problem is, aquatic animals look really derpy.
Yeah.
Have you seen...
I will stare into your soul.
And, but the final form has some pretty scary things. Like, he has new powers, like he can shoot his atomic breath from his back.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. Because they basically explain the atomic breath is just him, like, he has nuclear blood, but he has too much of it, so he needs to expel it. So it's basically, he's having nuclear farts? It's releasing waste, nuclear waste, and how do most biological life forms get their waste out?
So he's either throwing up or pissing from his back. Got it.
Do you remember when we saw the last Godzilla in theaters, and the part where, the fire was coming up in his belly, and he was holding the alien?
The Mudo.
And he was like... And then Anthony went... I'm gonna set your beard on fire. And he goes, whoa.
What's funny, I just bought that movie yesterday, the 2014 Godzilla movie, which it's really
that was 2014?
Yeah. Yeah, 2014.
That seems about right to me, yeah.
And we're getting a new one in 2019, Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay.
So,
but no, I think the last Godzilla was pretty solid.
People
honestly.
said Godzilla barely appears in movies, watch a Godzilla movie where he appears a lot. Like, I can count on, like, literally...
Yeah, that's always, like, the climax of the movie. It's, like, the terror of this huge, imposing creature that's coming, and then he finally comes, and you're like, holy crap.
I mean, in the original Gojira, he was barely in the movie at all. Yeah. Like, the one movie where you see Godzilla fucking all the time was in Final Wars, but then again, that was a movie where every fucking monster was in that movie.
Like, everything. Which, and back during the original Godzilla, that was like, they didn't have the technology to have that thing on screen all the time.
That suit, the guy who was in the suit, I gotta give him props. He played Godzilla for like 30 movies. And that man was miserable when he's in a suit. Like, dead serious. And you're filming the original Gojira.
This was before they had, like, AC ventilated suits.
Yeah. Like, dead serious. In the original Gojira, they said they had to get 2 cups worth of sweat from the suit.
Oh. Oh, that's disgusting.
They had to...
Didn't he also pass out from heat stroke multiple times?
Multiple times in, like, the first Gojira. They cleared the suit later on. He also could barely see.
Because like the suit must have been made of like a plastic or something like that.
It used to be plastic, but the problem was they made the suit like they used plastic for details. But the problem was they didn't realize, oh yeah, plastic's hard. So they put him in the suit. He couldn't move at all. So they had to make an entirely new suit. I believe they used silicone instead.
Okay, it was still,
that's still hot, heavy.
Well, I mean, if you know, if anyone's ever, like, been in, like, a mascot suit before, nowadays they have, they might have had the vest then. They have this vest, which is literally just ice packs that you, like, wear it like kind of like a ballistics vest. And you put that on, and it's supposed to keep your body cold. Well, sometimes that's not enough, and that ice only lasts so long. So what some suits have is they have built-in fans now. Because they're big enough. That's why a lot of them have like huge heads or huge bodies, because they're actually there's actually electronic fans in there spinning to keep the airflow going throughout the suit to keep the person inside from overheating.
Yeah. And nowadays, like, Shin Godzilla has the record. It's the first Godzilla movie to be entirely CG. Like, there's no man in the suit. They had a guy doing mocap, but the Godzilla is entirely CG, which was really good, because when I first saw the trailers, I thought it was a man in a suit, but they had CG enhancements to, like, add details and stuff, because, like, the glowing red, he looks like he's supposed to be, like, irradiated, burnt. No, it was entirely CG, so I'll be like, I gotta give props. If it fooled me to think it was a suit, then that's gotta be some really good CG if you fool it for an actual physical thing.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I will say the problem with Shin Godzilla, is just, if I highly recommend it as a Godzilla fan, but just keep in mind, this is not supposed to be like, oh, Godzilla's gonna fight another monster. It's basically, Japanese politics is really, really complicated with a giant monster. I will say, this is the one film where the scientists are badass. Because there's, the scientists were like, you know what, fuck the government. We're gonna take care of the problem on our own.
As they should.
Yeah.
I have a legitimate question, though.
Yeah.
Do you think, because Japan has made all these movies, that, like, now there is actually, like, a contingency plan in place in case something like a giant lizard thing ever did actually appear in Japan?
I mean, the Center for Disease Control has a contingency for a zombie apocalypse.
And NASA has contingency for aliens. Literally, they have, like, a protocol they go through if they encounter otherworldly life.
I mean, I figured they would.
So,
they should, Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna be exploring
space,
the great unknown, the final frontier,
we better have contingencies whether or not we will find either ET or xenomorphs.
Honestly, I'm really not looking forward to that. Finding another. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Just because, humans have enough problems as it is.
We are complicated enough. We don't need any more.
Okay, say another alien race comes here, right? And, like, they're, like, whatever they turn out to be it they look like us or they don't. We have a hard enough time trying to accept people with different skin color.
Yeah. Well, accepting an entirely different species that would, assuming that they're intelligent in this case, Oh God.
I feel like I say it just depends whether or not they need our help or they're willing to give us help. Because I feel like if we're dealing with advanced civilization that's trying to give us help, I think we'll be like, oh, yeah, sure, no, hey, you guys okay? You guys okay? Simply because we don't want to piss off the person that has, like, faster-than-life travel.
See, that's kind of weird, because you just basically explained the like, main plot to, The Arrival.
Okay.
That's literally, the aliens have come to give help, and you find out what that help is later in the movie, but, like, the whole movie is them trying to figure out what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And try not to piss them off.
Well, and
and
that's the thing.
different countries across the world took a different take on it. You know, like
because there's
America
more than one.
was doing this like, you know, it was like a militaristic, but we're gonna do it in a smart way type of deal. You know, like we're not just gonna go shooting things.
Yeah.
But we really want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then they had like the Chinese government who was like, we're not taking any crap. Like, they are a threat. They have landed on our planet. They have not told us what they're doing here. And we can't be sure of anything. So they were prepared just to go gung-ho and, you know, bomb the crap out of it.
One example of when aliens need our help and we're the assholes, District 9.
Yeah.
And then that's
those
like
movies
primarily...
are definitely interesting. And even comic books, honestly, kind of cover that pretty often.
Superman.
With, like, you got Superman, you got John Jones.
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, so you've definitely got a lot of commentary on things like that, which is really cool, because, you know, honestly, it's just like...
It's food for thought.
Yeah, because it's something I don't think the average man just thinks about on a daily basis, on, like, you know, what would I do? How would my government, my country react, you know, to something like an extraterrestrial landing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alright. Next, let's move on to Toonami released their new schedule.
Okay.
They're going to start early on January 7th at 11:30 instead of midnight as usual.
Okay.
And they'll debut the first episode of Dragon Ball Super dubbed.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
I never got into Dragon Ball.
Me neither. And I've heard Super's just been kind of like,
even
Dragon Ball fans are like, ugh.
They're divisive on it.
Yeah.
I've heard so many mixed opinions on it. I've heard some people who are like, granted, like, I've heard from people who are like super, super into it, that they're like, oh, it's so good. And then like people who like the show are like, it's okay.
Yeah, it really, from what I've seen as well, it's only like the super hardcore fans of all things Dragon Ball that are like, yeah, it's great. But anybody who's like not a super hardcore fan, they're just like, it's okay, you know?
Right. And next, afterwards, they're going to have Dragon Ball Z Kai, which is basically a reinterpretation of Dragon Ball with more professional voice actors.
Okay.
And,
all right.
Yeah, they as well as remove a lot of the filler. They edited so it's not just 90% screaming. It's more comprehensive. It's
90% screaming and shirt ripping.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Dragon Ball Z Kai, the final chapter.
I mean, can you just imagine how much money Goku has to spend? Just Goku alone on new shirts and pants.
My question is...
honestly.
No, my question is where does he even get the money? Last time I checked, like, they live, like, Goku and Chi-Chi and his kids live in, like, you know, fuck all, middle of nowhere.
You know, that's what I've always wondered about Naruto, honestly. Where does that kid get enough money to buy ramen all the time?
I mean, like, that's a mute point now that he's the Hokage.
His missions do not pay him enough for how much ramen that boy eats.
Now that he's Hokage, he can get all the ramen
Well, yeah, I mean, of course now, but I'm saying when he's like a 13-year-old kid and he's doing D-rank missions every now and then, how on earth does he get enough money?
And, you know, that's funny, is Cole talks to us a lot about One Piece, and that's something they kind of addressed in One Piece, is... Luffy's straw hat that he has, it means a lot to him because it was given to him by the closest thing to a father he ever had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Shanks.
And there are times where like the straw hat will be like set on fire, thrown into the ocean. It'll just be like ripped up in like so many pieces. And they explain that like every single time, because it's a hat made of straw, like they get more straw and they repair it. So that's why, like it'll be destroyed one episode, repaired the next, because they went and got more straw and they fixed it.
I mean, especially that it's a pirate show. So.
I've been told, Cole has told me that apparently, like each one of the crew members on the boat has, or some of the crew members on the boat anyway, have like repaired his hat and given it to him as like a thank you for saving them or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not the, I like to call it the Tom and Jerry syndrome, right? Where you have a whole episode where just a bunch of crazy, insane things happen. You know, you could even get to a point where one of them, the final thing that happens, they get like blown up by a bomb. You know, like it could be something that extravagant. And then the next episode, everything's fine. They're back to their normal selves.
I mean, South Park does the same thing.
Yeah.
Family Guy does the same thing.
It's just a gimmick, I guess, of just seeing how far you can push the limits of like what these characters. You know, because it's not about story in those situations.
No, it's
you know,
not.
it's definitely not. But for the shows that it is about story, though, that's where it's a little like, really, you know.
I know a lot of people who do like kind of things. Like I remember Marvel had to actually answer a question. Fans were sending them letters for a long time. It's like, since Spider-Man swings around all the time, why is it New York covered in webbings? They answered by saying, "Oh, they dissolve in an hour."
Oh, wait.
That makes sense. Well,
no, he sometimes hangs up criminals.
Yeah, he like hangs up criminals, and I mean, unless it's a different kind of webbing that he uses for that.
I mean, hopefully the cops are fast
Marvel,
enough.
we are calling you on your crap. No. I mean,
it's almost
if
believable.
it was more than an hour, I would accept it. If they said, you know, it takes like 6 hours for it to dissolve.
Yeah, if it was like a decently long chunk of time.
Because then he could hang up the criminals and then the police would have time to find them and stuff like that.
Also, not to mention that just dissolving in general, if it dissolved in an hour, like, that means the criminal would probably be free. Like, say he ties up a criminal, right? The criminal would probably be free if he's awake before the hour is even up, because, like, a dissolving thread is going to get thinner and weaker. Yeah. So he's going to be out of there and gone in, like, maybe
it depends on their strength, because, I mean, the webbing is still strong. It's stronger than steel, so I don't know. It depends on like how weak it gets over that period. Yeah, it depends. But definitely by a certain point they're going to be able to just snap out of it. So
true.
Yeah, come on, Marvel. You can do better than that.
Well, we still have the other lineups that include 12:30 at for Toonami we'll have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Okay.
Followed by Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
It's the new Gundam series. And
wait, what time is that? Wait, what time will that be on?
1 o'clock.
Hey, you guys want to stay up until 1?
I mean, we got
Watch Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn.
Then at 1:30, we'll get Naruto Shippuden.
Okay.
And last two shows for that block will be One Piece and One Punch Man.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool.
Well, they're re-airing season 1. Like a lot of times
of One Punch Man.
Yeah.
I figured they would be.
Dubbed. It does been out for a while.
Okay, yeah, I know that
because
now.
Toonami, I don't think Toonami has ever played a subbed anime. They always do dubbed.
They always do dubbed. Kind of sad because Kill la Kill's not part of the lineup anymore.
Has Naruto? I don't even know. Has Naruto Shippuden English dub even been finished?
I don't know.
I thought they were supposed to finish like sometime early this year.
I mean,
last time I checked, that was like a really long time ago.
Then again, Toonami got Naruto Shippuden not too long ago. So they
I mean, there's a ton of episodes, so it would take a while, even if they were playing, you know, like 4 or 5 a day. Honestly, it would still take them a while before they got to where.
And they do it once a week.
Yeah, so it would take them a while before they got to the point where
they will run out.
Where they would run out. But yeah, I think they should be close to finishing, which I'm super, super, super excited for. I love it.
Isn't Fairy Tail also supposed to continue this year?
I don't know, because didn't we look it up and there was like rumors, but like
we're getting a new movie this year.
We are getting a movie. We are getting a movie.
Yeah.
You can't tell me they're going to end the show where they've ended it now, because that is not an ending point.
And that arc was so good, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, they set up that entire, like, the last couple episodes, literally the last 2 episodes, they set it up to continue on with another arc.
Yeah.
You know.
It was kind of a weird stopping point, honestly.
I mean,
like, they should have ended with, like, Zero, do all of Zero, right? and then just like start off with the next episode where we go back to Natsu and Lucy and what they're doing and stuff like that, and then start the arc from there.
Yeah,
it was weird for them to do like two episodes,
like a teaser of like, hey, this is where things started. I mean,
maybe it was just them saying like,
I think they wanted to give the viewers a little bit of present day, because Zero, for those of you who don't know, takes place in the past. It's
a long time of Fairy Tail.
It follows the story of the Fairy Tail's first founder, Mavis, and what drove her like to create Fairy Tail as a guild, and the people that she met that helped her form the guild,
and it's
her
such
adventures, like where she comes from.
Story. Oh man, it was so good.
It's really good.
It was so good. So definitely, like, if you haven't seen that, if you haven't watched Fairy Tail at all, honestly, it's one of our favorites. It's like, it's honestly, I would say one of the best amalgamations of like modern anime.
Yeah.
I would say, because it's got like the things that you don't like, but you also kind of love from modern anime. You know? It
is full of it's strange too, because like it has that kind of like, especially in the earlier seasons anyway. It definitely, like, I would say, lost this like later in the show. But when the show first starts out, it has this kind of like whimsical, like, oh, this is, you know, something a young kid could watch and really enjoy, right?
Magic.
And then it's like magic. You know, they even have like some.
I don't know. Tower of Heaven was the first arc.
It's
the first arc, and that got pretty dark
and emotional, especially Urza's like.
Well, I'm talking about like there are some at the beginnings of some episodes. They're like, "Hey kids, ready for Fairy Tale?" And that's what I kind of mean by that, like whimsical. Like it's like kind of like for kids, and then like much later on, you get to like the actual show, and you're like
the first
"Oh my
episode,
gosh, what the heck?"
You have like the narrator, you know, he's like
who never shuts up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that early in the show, it's a good thing to have, because some things will pop up and you're like, oh, what the heck is this? And then the narrator comes in and you're like, by the way, so you know, this is this. And then he leaves. It's like, oh, all right, cool.
But then there's just some moments where it's just like, yeah, we got that. Like when they talk about the light pen, like it's a magical pen.
Some things that you can clearly see, and he explains, and you're like, really, dude?
But I think the narrator was really good when like explaining and introducing all the characters.
Oh yeah, definitely when the story was starting out.
One thing I'll also say is Fairy Tail definitely has an abundance of characters in it. You know, like even side characters have their own names, their own stories. You don't get to see a whole lot of them, but you get this feeling that they are their own person.
A lot of them get like mini arcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they've had some that have focused on Kana and
Loki.
They haven't really. You know, I would like one that focuses on Levy, because like Levy is there like so often. And
she's practically a major supporting character.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna do, because like, you know, they've already really established like her and Gajiel's relationship.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they'll do something with that. You know, that would be interesting and adorable. And I ship it, and let's do it right now.
All right. Speaking of Fairy Tail, they announced a new movie for spring 2017. Fairy Tail Cry of the Dragon. Or Dragon Cry.
So is it going to be like canon?
The movies are a lot of animes. The way they treat their films are, it's great that they're canon, but you don't really need them. They're usually one-shot stories.
I feel like it's viewed as more of a, hey, this was one of our jobs that we did. It turned out to be a lot bigger than we thought.
Yeah.
It just wasn't world-changing.
I would say most of the Naruto movies are like that, except for the last.
Because that was the most important one.
It was the more... Yeah, it was... Yeah.
Do we know anything about the movie yet? Do we know what it's going to be revolving around? I mean, I feel it's going to be the Dragon Slayers, obviously, just based off the name, I guess. But do we know, like, if it's going to follow anyone in particular, or, like, a new character?
It doesn't say anything. We didn't even get a trailer. They just showed the logo.
Oh, all right. So it was only announced.
Yeah, it was only announced. This is the second Fairy Tail film we got. This is the second one.
Yeah, the first one was
Phoenix
something.
Priestess?
The Phoenix Princess.
The Phoenix Princess, yes.
Okay.
I remember me and Caitlin watched that, and it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I haven't seen it yet. I really want to.
Wait, was that the one with the little chick?
Yes.
And I was
she
like,
carried it everywhere.
As soon as I saw it, I was like,
Adorable.
She demanded she had a
kind of
plushie.
a thing about me. I have a problem with adorable things, like it. Just like
Pop.
little cute like animals and
Yeah.
like I love Pops. Yeah, like I got one of Flick from A Bug's Life for Christmas, and I also got the Niffler
Yeah.
from Fantastic Beasts, and like I just like I will literally just hold them and just look at them because they're so cute.
I remember when I showed you the announcements for the Ruby Chibi figures.
Uh,
Your reaction when you saw them in the theater.
specifically Ruby. Like I thought the other three were pretty cute, but when I saw Ruby, I was like, "Oh, stop!"
Yeah,
She's
like,
so adorable.
Or when I had a new pop. I remember before the Christmas party when you got your Hagrid pop.
Yes.
Oh, the Hagrid pop.
I got a Hagrid pop, and he's one of the 8-inch ones, and he has his
18-inch.
18-inch. Sorry, and he has the little like pink umbrella, and oh my gosh, it's so cute.
Or
yeah.
I remember you got that Urza plushie from a while
Yeah,
back.
I still have that Ursa plushie. They sold them at MegaCon, and she was like this. I don't even know how big she was. I still have her somewhere around here.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like yay
18
big. No, I'd say smaller than that. She wasn't quite. Oh, maybe I don't know.
Maybe 18-inch.
I don't know. I'd say about 10 inches.
I would say 10 inches
Yeah,
too.
about
she,
10
She
inches.
wasn't quite that big.
Little
Okay.
10-inch plushie, and she had like her main armor that she wore in the show on, and just like her little blue skirt, and it was just so adorable. Anyway, so yeah, that was my little, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a rant, but just a escapade on how
Adorableness.
adorable things make me
Watch. They're gonna.
happy.
The people are gonna just send cute stuff in your mail now.
just find me on Twitter and just tag me in adorable things, and I'll love you. At Caitlin Jackson. But yeah, so we are drawing towards the end here. I mean, I feel like I had a good time just talking about
Stuff.
random things
Yeah.
going on in the nerd world.
Yeah, it hasn't been an eventful week, so it's good to just tangent on stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
and
first
about
week of
last
the year.
week too.
Yeah.
We had some technical difficulties with editing and stuff like that. I just like technical, really, as in like I wasn't home. And-
we were busy dealing with Christmas and the New Year.
and New Year and all
And
that stuff. We
took a
did the
break.
party hard and had a good time, and we hope you guys did too. I hope you're optimistic about 2017. We definitely are. All of us are just like kind of in transitions, I would say, in our lives. So yeah, it's kind of a cool time though, just to like, I don't know, figure things out, I suppose. So yeah, if you are out there, if you're listening, still, God bless you.
And Autobots. We need you.
Yes.
Roll out.
Roll out.
My name is Optimus Prime.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys like coming back and listening to us and joining us in the new year. And yeah, man, we're just super excited for what 2017 is going to hold for the channel.
Yep.
We're going to have some news coming up pretty soon. So yeah, I won't give anything more than that. I'll just say it's exciting and some big things are coming. So yeah, we love you guys, and
Bye-bye.
yeah.
Peace!
In the middle. East.